မိတ်ဆွေတို့အိမ်မှာအသုံးပြုနေတဲ့ဓာတ်ပလာတွေပြတ်တဲ့အခါဆိုင်မှာပဲအသစ်သွားဝယ်နေတော့မဲလားပြင်ပြီးတော့အသုံးပြုကြည့်ဖို့စိတ်ကူးရှိရဆိုရင်တော့ဒီဗီဒီယိုမှာလေ့လာကြည့်လိုက်ပါခင်ဗျာ Basis Electronic Channel ကနေပြန်လည်ကြိုဆိုလိုက်ပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာ
Greetings to all friends, siblings, and family. May you all be blessed. Today, the knowledge I will share is about step-by-step repair methods for when an adapter's output voltage fails. In a situation where we have to open and repair these types of adapters, I will first share the knowledge of how to open the adapter box. Hammer. Using a small hammer, we need to strike along this area with a force that is neither too strong nor too gentle. Strike firmly at these corner areas, and strike these areas a bit more gently. We also need to strike these sides. Here, a small crack has formed. From this opening created by the gentle tapping, we will use a pry tool to carefully pry it open. We will slowly pry it open with the pry tool. These parts are not electrically conductive. It is a type of silicone placed here for heat absorption. If you touch it with your hands may get blackened. Underneath that is the FET. Let's start by checking the AC wires. This blue AC wire goes here. This purple AC wire on this side goes here. This one goes directly to this side. Here, there is a fuse installed. There is a fuse in this area. One side of this fuse is connected to the purple AC wire. This point is connected to the blue AC wire. There is a fuse at this location. Here, there is continuity with the AC input wire, but on this side, there is no continuity. This fuse is blown. However, to determine why this fuse blew, we will inspect the other parts of the circuit. Where does the AC voltage path go from here? It passes through this coil and reaches this point. It comes from here and goes here. From here, it passes through the coil wire and goes to this side. From this side, the AC voltage path also goes to the fuse. From one side of the fuse, it passes through a resistor and reaches this point. From here, it passes through the coil and arrives here. Then, at this point, there is a 4-pin bridge diode. The two middle pins are the AC voltage input pins. The pins on each side are the DC voltage positive and negative. Now, to know which pin is positive and which is negative, we will measure with a meter. AC voltage comes into this pin. I will touch the black meter lead here. The meter needle shows an ohm value. So, this pin is the DC negative output pin. This pin is the DC negative output pin. I will touch the red meter lead here. I will touch the black meter lead to this pin. Therefore, this pin here is the DC positive output pin. I will touch the red meter lead to this pin. I will touch the black meter lead to this AC voltage input pin. Now, let's check if there is any reverse leakage current in the diode. Using the same measurement method as before, we will test the diode pins with the meter leads in reverse orientation. I will touch the black meter lead to the AC voltage input pins. The meter needle does not show any ohm value, so this diode is good. The pins on either side of the diode will output DC positive and negative voltages. This is a capacitor. The DC positive voltage from the diode comes via this path to here. Then it reaches here. The positive path comes here. Then that positive voltage reaches this coil. It goes into the coil. From one end of the coil, it goes to the other end of the coil. It enters from this coil end and exits from this coil end. From this coil end, the DC positive voltage reaches the drain pin of the FET. There is an FET in this area. What we are measuring now is roughly testing the internal diode of the FET. The meter needle shows the ohm value that should appear when measuring a diode in forward bias. This diode is good. The DC negative voltage is connected to the FET source pin through a resistor. We will also check other parts of the circuit. We will check if the filter capacitor is bulging or leaking any fluid. We need to desolder the gate, drain, source pins of this FET and the 2 pins of this heatsink plate. Then we will be able to see the capacitor. We also need to measure and test this FET. This capacitor is the filter capacitor. I don't see any bulging or fluid leakage from the filter capacitor. If there is bulging or fluid leakage, it definitely needs to be replaced. This part here is a diode. It is the output diode. We will also measure and test that output diode. The center pin of the diode is the positive pin. The 2 side pins of the diode are the negative pins. I will touch the red meter lead to the center pin of the diode and touch the black meter lead to the side pins of the diode. The meter needle shows the ohm value that should appear when forward bias, so that is correct. We will measure and test if there is any reverse bias leakage current in the diode. The meter needle jumps slightly. I will touch the black meter lead to the center pin of the diode. I will touch the red meter lead to the side pin of the diode. The meter needle does not show any value. So this output diode is good. This area is where the filter capacitor is located. We will remove that filter capacitor and test it. We will measure and test this filter capacitor with the meter. When measuring like this, we need to know the value of this capacitor. It is 100 μF 400 volt. So, since it is 100 μF 400 volt, I will set the meter selector to the times 10 range on the ohm scale. I will touch 1 meter lead to each pin of the capacitor. The meter needle swings up slightly. If so, the capacitor is good. I will swap the red and black leads touching the capacitor pins. The meter needle swings up slightly. So this filter capacitor is neither shorted nor has leakage current. Therefore, I will reinstall this filter capacitor in the circuit. We will also measure and test the FET. The FET's part number is CM12N65F. We will test the FET with a meter. So, I will set the meter selector to the times 10 range on the ohm scale. Then I will perform the zero adjustment. I will touch the red meter lead to the FET's drain. I will touch the black meter lead to the FET source. The meter needle shows the high value that appears when measuring a good diode in forward bias. That is correct. I will touch the black meter lead to the FET's drain. I will touch the red meter lead to the FET's source. The meter needle does not move. So the internal diode built into the FET is good. We will check if the FET's gate on-off operation is correct. I will touch the red meter lead to the FET's source pin. I will touch the black meter lead to the FET's gate. Then I will move the black meter lead to touch the FET's drain pin. The meter needle shows a reading. In that state, I will touch the FET's gate with my finger. The meter needle slowly falls back. So the FET's gate on-off operation is correct. I will demonstrate again. I will touch the red meter lead to the FET's source pin. I will briefly touch the black meter lead to the FET's gate pin. Then I will move the black meter lead to touch the FET's drain pin, the center leg. The meter needle shows a reading. The meter needle showing this indicates that because the gate received a signal, it turned on the drain and source. To turn off the drain and source, I will touch the gate pin with my finger. At that moment, the meter needle slowly falls back. The connection between the FET's gate and source has been broken. If so, this FET is good. Therefore, I will reinstall this FET in the circuit. Now, I will reconnect the fuse that we initially found to be blown and test it. To see if it works when we make the connection for this fuse, please continue watching with me until the end of the video. I will remove the fuse that has a broken connection. These are the fuse pins that need to be desoldered. Since the original solder is a bit dry, adding a little fresh solder makes desoldering easier. This little component is the fuse. I will test this fuse with the meter. The meter needle does not show any ohm value. So the fuse inside this is blown. I will replace this fuse. What you see here is the fuse. I could temporarily connect it directly with a thin wire for testing. But I will not connect it directly. I will cut about 2 inches of thin coil wire and wrap it around a toothpick. Then I will cut the toothpick wrapped with coil wire to roughly the length of the fuse. Then I will solder it to the fuse pins. After doing that, I will test the replacement fuse with the meter. When I touch the meter leads to the fuse pins, the meter needle shows 0 ohm. I will apply some fresh solder again. I will reinstall the fuse I made into the circuit and solder it. I will test the installed replacement fuse with the meter. It is okay. After that, I will also reinstall the FET into the circuit. I will carefully solder the FET and heatsink plate pins into the circuit. I will plug the AC cord into the adapter's AC input socket. Before connecting to the AC mains outlet, I will pre-connect the meter to the output DC jack pin. I will set the meter selector to the 50 range on the DC volt scale. I will connect the AC cord attached to the adapter into the mains outlet. It reads over 50 volts. This adapter is a 52V output adapter. I will test it by connecting it directly to the device it is intended for use with. This is the socket where the DC jack pin needs to be inserted. It says DC 54V written on it. I will connect the adapter's power cord to the mains outlet. The green power light turns on. The green and yellow lights in these ports also illuminate. The green and yellow lights flicker and then turn off. The green power light, however, remains on. I will disconnect the adapter's power cord from the mains outlet. The green power light also turns off. So, this adapter is now ready for use again. Thank you very much to all the friends, siblings, and family who have watched this video to the end. I will continue to strive to present more informative videos. If you found some useful knowledge from my video, I would like to ask you to like and share my video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please consider subscribing. I will meet you again next week with more videos. Wishing all friends, siblings, and family physical and mental health and prosperity. May you be free from all natural disasters. May you be free from the 5 kinds of enemies. May your livelihoods be comfortable and prosperous. Thank you very much.